guys, welcome back to my channel. If you are new to my channel, my name is Jenny Reyes, and on today's video I want to talk about how I got pregnant with irregular periods and struggling to get pregnant and my journey to pregnancy. So I haven't even mentioned on this channel that I am pregnant. If you are subscribed to my blog channel, Janae Vlogs, on my other channel I already announced that I was pregnant. I already did a gender reveal and I just talked more about my pregnancy on my vlogging channel, but this is the first video I am making here on this channel because in this channel it's more about lifestyle, mommy videos, beauty, fashion and stuff like that. But I've been wanting to update you guys here on this channel as well, but I thought it would be perfect to start off with this video because I have shared on my Instagram too. If you don't follow me on Instagram, I share there on the daily, so go ahead and follow me there. I've shared on there that I did struggle to get pregnant with both of my pregnancies. My first, of course, my daughter is 5 now, and with this pregnancy that I am expecting right now, I struggled to get pregnant with both of them for years, and I want to share my pregnancy story this time around because this time around is more of something that I did, and what I did, it might help somebody out there struggling to get pregnant. And you might not want to do it the medical way because it is a little scary doing it with medicines and going to a doctor for everything. It is a little scary. That was definitely going to be my second choice if I didn't get pregnant by the age of 30. So if you have to go through that route, it does not make you any less of a mom. You are a perfect mom, and I just want you to know that whatever you had to do to get that baby, it's just a special journey that you're going to go through. I don't want anybody to think that I'm saying doing it like with a doctor is any less than doing it on your own. I just really wanted to conceive naturally, and this is what worked for me, and I really want to share my story in case it works for somebody out there. It might not work for everybody because everybody is different and not everybody works the same. And before I start, just want to let you guys know I am not a doctor. Before you do anything that I recommend, just talk to your doctor, see what they consult you because they know better than I do. But this is just what I did. I mean, it was nothing bad. It was just something that I just kind of picked up by watching videos here on YouTube on how people conceive with irregular periods and stuff like that, and I just kind of watched a lot of videos. What I'm going to tell you guys that worked for me today worked the first time I tried it, so I really feel in my heart that I need to share this here on YouTube because I know there's a lot of women just like me that struggle with the same problem, and I just felt like me sharing this might help somebody out there. So yeah, I'm gonna get started, and the way I want to start is by giving you guys a little bit background on when I first got my period because I do struggle with irregular periods. I probably get my period like 3 times a year. I don't get it all the time, so it's been like that ever since I turned 15. That's when I got my first period. I remember getting it, and then I never got it again for like another year. After that, that's when I told my grandmother, because my grandmother raised me. I told her, you know what, I'm not getting my period regular. I felt less of a woman just because you're in high school and your friends are talking about periods and how they got their period, and you're just like, I only got it once, you know. I was too scared to tell people. I was ashamed to tell people, which now that I'm older, I'm not even ashamed. I don't care. I know it's a regular thing, but when you're in high school, you're like embarrassed, you know, saying that you don't get a period. So it was a struggle, and when I noticed that I didn't get it for another year, that's when I told my grandmother, like, I'm not getting my period regular, like, is there something wrong with me? And she took me to the doctor. That's when they told me that it was normal for teenagers to go through this. Sometimes their hormones are going through so much through high school that it was just normal. That's what the doctor said. He told my grandmother that they can give me birth control to help me regulate my periods, but my grandma has always taught me like that birth control is bad for you, so that always stuck to my head. And she told the doctor, like, no, she's not gonna take birth control, like that is gonna make her body worse, like her body needs to do it on her own naturally, like we're just gonna leave it like that. So that's what happened. So years went by, and you know, you graduate high school. I met my husband, I was in college, and we moved in together. I still wasn't getting my period regular. I was getting it probably like 2 times a year, 3 times a year. It was so unregular, and I still never went to the doctor because I felt like they were gonna tell me the same thing, like they were just gonna give me birth control just to regulate it, and I knew that birth control is not good for you. I mean, it's good for you if you want to prevent pregnancy, but I knew that I didn't want that just to have periods. So I was like, I could live without a period. You know, when you're older, you're like, thank God I don't have a period. But when you're in high school, you're kind of like embarrassed because you don't have a period. That's how I felt. But when I was older, I was like, thank God I don't have to have a period. I don't have to feel nasty all the time, because having a period is not fun. So then I met my husband, moved in with him. A year after living with him, we never used protection, so I was never on birth control because we weren't preventing. I don't know, we were just like so in love that we didn't even care about preventing or anything like that. But after a year being with him, we knew that we wanted to have kids together, and we knew that we wanted to start a family after a year. And we were really young. We were only 20. I knew that it was going to be a struggle to get pregnant because I didn't have my periods. I didn't, you know, you need your period in order to ovulate. So I knew that it was going to be a struggle. But what I did was just like ask friends or family, like, what did they do? Because I know I have a couple of family members that struggle to get pregnant too. And I asked them. Some told me to take folic acid. Some told me to go get a massage because maybe my uterus might be tilted or something like that. Just so many things that were just like, yeah, I don't know if I can do all that. So I just brushed it off my shoulders, and I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna leave it in God's hands, and whenever it is time to have a baby, I'll have a baby. Another 2 years passed, no baby yet, no protection, no nothing, still no baby. And 3 years passed, still no baby. 4 years passed. I think stress has a lot to do when you want to have a baby, because after 4 years of being together, me and my husband ended up buying our first home. If you don't watch my vlogging channels, then you probably don't know that I have guardianship over my siblings. I ended up getting guardianship over them. That was a big stress, always like having them live with my mom, because it was just a bad environment for them with my mom. So I always knew that I wanted to take them away from her. So when I was going through those whole years, I was stressing. So after 4 years, I finally got my home. I finally got guardianship for my siblings. Oh, and then another thing was I got my license to be a cosmetologist. So everything was just perfect, you know, after 4 years. And I was working out, taking care of myself, eating good, and I naturally got pregnant on my own. And it was just such a miracle to know that I got pregnant on my own. But then I put everything together, and I was like, maybe it's because I was like stress-free, everything was going good in life, I was taking care of myself, eating healthy, and I thought in my head, like, maybe all that had to do with this. Like, it all had to do with me taking care of myself and being like stress-free. So I got pregnant with my first baby, and I ended up having a miscarriage at 5 weeks. So it was really stressful because, you know, you've been waiting for this for so long, and you lose your baby. So that was stressful, sad. I thought I did something wrong because at that time I was working out, taking care of myself, and I thought for a second, I was like, maybe lifting up weights, like I had a miscarriage because of that. Just so many things went through my head. I blamed myself for it, and I was so scared to work out again. I was so scared to do anything because I thought that's the reason I had a miscarriage. To this day, I don't know why I had a miscarriage, but I just gave up, and I was like, you know what, like, I told my husband, I'm sorry, I'm never gonna be able to give you a kid, like, ever. I told him that, and he never gave up. He was like, you're gonna give me a kid, you're gonna be a mom one day, like, I'm not even worried about it. And me over here like, no, I'm not gonna be able to, like, being so negative. And then I was like, I give up on trying. Anyways, 6 months passed, and I ended up conceiving again naturally without even trying, like, just on my own. And I was like, oh my God, like, I did it again. And this time it was my daughter, the one that I have now. She's 5 years old now. That pregnancy was beautiful. Like, it was just so beautiful because, like, I didn't have any symptoms. It was just the perfect pregnancy, you know, like those pretty picture pregnancies that people always make it seem crazy in movies. But this pregnancy was like a whole different story that I was always scared, because I was like, this pregnancy is too perfect. Like, what if it's my baby's not alive, you know? Especially going through a miscarriage, it's kind of traumatizing. And your next pregnancy, you're like more scared every minute, all the time. So I ended up having my baby girl, healthy and beautiful, and nothing was wrong with her, and I conceived naturally. So after I had her, I knew that I still was not going to get on birth control, even though I didn't want a kid right away after having my daughter. I wanted to give her everything. I wanted to give her all the attention. So I knew I didn't want to have another kid for another 2 years, but I still decided not to get on birth control because, like I told you guys, it was engraved in my mind that birth control was bad for your body. That's what my grandmother always told me, and to not take it. So in my head I was like, okay, well, I'll just protect myself. Like I told you guys, I don't get my period regular, So I was like, okay, that's gonna be easy, me trying to take care of myself, because you know, the months that I do get my period, I'll just not have sex like around the time that I think I'm gonna ovulate. So that's what we ended up doing. And then after 2 years passed, I thought it was a perfect time to try again, to try to have another kid again. I was tracking my periods through an app, and you know how in those apps where you track your periods, it tells you like when you're gonna ovulate. So me, I'm tracking my periods for months and months, always having sex the day it's gonna, like the app says it's gonna ovulate, which that is like the worst mistake you can ever make, which I learned that now that I conceived this baby. The whole time I was doing that. So the whole time I was tracking my periods and having sex on the time that that week that it says I was gonna ovulate, and I was still not getting pregnant. So in my head I was like, oh my god, like what if I can't have no more kids? What if Claire was the last one? She was just a blessing. And I just kept trying that for another 3 years, and then another 4 years passed and I was still not getting pregnant. So I decided to get on some pills that help you get your period regular. I forgot the name of the brand, but I'll put the name of the brand right here. I decided to take these because I seen another YouTube video of a girl that took these, that she struggled with irregular periods, and she started taking these and taking care of herself, and she started getting her periods. And I was like, okay, maybe that's what I need, you know, something to help me start getting my regular periods. That way I can start ovulating, and maybe that's gonna help me get pregnant. So I tried that. I tried it for like 5 months straight, taking these pills, and these pills are really expensive. Mind you, it was getting my periods every month, which I was happy about, but when I was trying for a kid, it just wasn't working. And I was still tracking my app on the days I was having sex, on the days that my app said I was ovulating. So I want you guys to remember that. That's what I was doing wrong. I was trusting my app and going by the week that it says I was ovulating. I just gave up on those pills, and I was like, you know what, it's already 4 years and nothing has happened yet. And I started researching like around December, like how to conceive like naturally, like help, like I just watched so many videos, and I decided to try something. So what I decided to do, here it comes guys. So if you are trying to have a baby, this is my advice that I tried, and maybe it might help you. So one thing first that I needed to do was try to get my period. So I started searching up what helps to get your period regular, and a lot of things popped out with fixing your diet, the way you eat, exercise, being healthy. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna try to be healthy and exercise. And one of the diets that help your hormones that I've seen a lot of people talk about is the keto diet. So the keto diet definitely helps to improve your hormones. So I put that on my list, try the keto diet. But one thing is, I didn't go full on keto. I was just doing more of a low carb diet, and doing a low carb diet, almost like keto but not strict keto, helped me start my period. So I was so excited. So I finally got my period. So I started doing the keto diet in January. I ended up getting my period in February. So I was like, oh my god, it worked. Like it worked. The keto diet worked. Even though I wasn't doing it fully on, I was doing a low carb diet, it still worked. So if I can recommend anybody, get on a low carb diet to regulate your hormones if you don't want to take any supplements. That's one thing that worked. And another thing I watched was a video of a girl saying, do not trust those apps that track your periods and tell you when you're ovulating, because our bodies are all different. Our bodies do everything different. Some people might ovulate early, some people might ovulate late. So I was like, okay, so forget the app. I ain't gonna go about the app. And one of the videos too that I watch is a lot of girls tracking their ovulation with ovulation strips. So I decided to order some ovulation strips from Amazon. These are the ones I bought. And I was like, okay, so as soon as I'm done with my period, I'm gonna start tracking, see when I ovulate with these strips. So I started doing that. But another thing that I did, I wasn't really trusting those strips because they were from Amazon. And you know, you can't really trust everything that comes from Amazon. Well, at least I can't. So what I ended up doing was, I told my husband, this is my husband's best part. So this is another thing you need to put on your list. I told my husband, look, we are going to have sex every other day. He was excited about that. I'm like, just because I do not trust these ovulation strips, and I don't want to miss the day I ovulate, because the day I ovulate is the most important day, because that is when, you know, the sperm gets to the egg, and that's when you conceive a baby. That's one thing that I recommend you do. Have sex every other day. When you end your period all the way till you start your next period. So that's what I did. And if you don't start your next period, then you probably are pregnant. So just keep doing it. And I feel like that's what helped, because I had to ovulate at least one of those days and I was still trying every other day. So I don't know if that makes sense. Plus I was still doing the strips because I still really wanted to know when I ovulated. I wanted to see if it was the same thing as the app. And it's true what that girl say, some people ovulate late, some people ovulate early. I obviously ovulated late because the day it did come positive, my ovulation strip, it was already like late. Like I was supposed to almost start my next period. So the day that my ovulation strip came positive, I did it twice with my husband. So I just didn't want to, I mean, you can do it once, but I just didn't want to miss that egg, you know, that fertile egg. So that's what I did. So I recommend that you do it every other day, just in case your ovulation strips don't work. I know it's gonna be a lot of work, but your husband's gonna be happy. You might be a little exhausted, but it's gonna work. All right, so that's another thing that I would add to the list of what I tried. So let's catch up a little bit on the list. So the first one was try to regulate your periods if you have irregular periods. And if you want to take supplements, then go for it. If you want to get on a certain diet, then go for it. Whatever works for you. But like I said, a low carb diet definitely worked for me to start my period. I was so excited that it actually worked. And I was like, whoa, it's not a lie what everybody says, that the keto diet actually helps your hormones. And it's true. Another one is buy some ovulation strips. Definitely take those every day after you are done with your period. That way you know when you're ovulating. For have sex every other day, just to make sure, in case your ovulation strips don't work, in case you get a bad one, or you know, just in case. So those are the 4 tips that I have, and that is actually what works for me. I knew I was pregnant right away because I started getting symptoms like right away, like definitely right away. So when my ovulation strip said I was ovulating, I was obviously ovulating, because the next week I started getting cramps in my stomach, and I was like sad because I was like, oh, I'm gonna get my period, because every time I get cramps, I'm gonna start my period. So I told my husband, oh, it didn't work. Like my method that we tried didn't work this month because I'm already cramping. I should be getting my period either tonight or tomorrow morning. And we were both sad. So my period never came, and I was like, maybe it did work, because it should have been here already. Like 2 days passed and my period wasn't there anymore. But the cramping only lasted for a whole day. So I was like, maybe it worked, and maybe my cramping had to do with because of implantation. So when you're, I'm over here explaining all this to him because he doesn't have no idea what I'm talking about. But I told him, you know, when your egg is implanting, you get a little bit of cramping sometimes, or a little bit of blood, because your egg is implanting into your uterus. So I was like, maybe that's what happened. So another week passed, still no period, but I started getting symptoms. So one of the first symptoms was nauseous. I was so nauseous. Like by the end of the day, in the morning I was fine, but by the end of the evening, like I started getting nauseous, and I would tell him like, oh my God, I'm so nauseous. Like it's weird. And I took a test, nothing. So the second week passed, I was still getting nauseous every day, like in the evening. It was only in the evening. I took a test, nothing, like it was negative. And I was like so worried. I was like, this is weird. Like I'm feeling symptoms, I'm sleepy, I'm super tired, and it's coming out negative. I was like, is there something else wrong with me? Like, is there something happening with me? So I just brushed it off, and I was like, you know what, maybe it's just my body going through it again. Like, mind you, at this time I was still doing my low carb. I was like, maybe that's affecting me. I was like, I'm just gonna keep doing my low carb, because I felt good doing that, and my hormones were better now. But I was still gonna try next month to do it again when I got my period. So accordingly to my app, if I was having my periods normally, I was supposed to get my period already, and I didn't get it. So I was like, okay, let me try to do pregnancy test, and it still came out negative, which I was sad about. So another week passed, 5 weeks already. I was like, whatever, I'm just gonna brush it off and forget about it. Even though I was having all these symptoms of being pregnant, it was coming out negative. So one night I was just sleeping, and I just woke up remembering with the burning sensation in my nipples, and I was like, whoa, this is crazy. So I got up, I was like, I'm gonna try a pregnancy test, and everybody was asleep, and I did it, and it came out positive. Finally, on the 5th week, it came out positive, and I was so excited. Whew, I ended up surprising my husband. I ended up recording it, and my camera died, so I didn't get all of it, so I couldn't show the pregnancy results that I got with my husband. Like, it was just sad because he was so excited, but yeah, like that's what happened, and I finally did it. And I really wanted to share the story with you guys because it might help somebody out there going through the same struggle that I did. It took me 4 years with Claire to get pregnant, but that happened naturally. I didn't have an idea of what happened there. And then 5 years passed, and I finally did it again. And this time I tried this method that I just shared with you guys, and it worked. And I wanted to share this because I felt in my heart that I needed to share this, even though it might not help everybody, but it might help somebody out there. So yeah, guys, like that's my story, and I hope you guys like it. I hope I didn't bore you guys. I hope I made sense, because I am so bad at explaining things and I talk too fast. But I really needed to share this story, and I'm so glad I finally got around to do this video. I'm gonna end this video here, and I'll probably be doing another video on how my pregnancy is going. But if not, you can always follow my vlog channel and see how my pregnancy is going there. And also you can follow my Instagram. I'm always sharing there about my bump and sharing bump pictures, so follow me. And if you are new to my channel, also don't forget to subscribe for more amazing videos. I'm gonna be doing some videos of how to style your bump, because I do have a bump already. So if you are looking forward to those, don't forget to subscribe. And also go subscribe to my vlog channel if you are interested in like seeing me on a daily basis, no filters, just me, myself, my family doing things, and yeah, just like a normal vlogging channel. So go follow that channel. And yeah, guys, don't forget to give this video a like if you enjoyed it and if it helped you a little bit. And I'll see you guys on my next video. Bye, guys.